We are live for the second time today from the Byron PE Center. It's Byron Tigers track and field. We're just underway for the running events. This is event number 1. The boys 3,200 meter relay. This is a 4x800. And you can see the leaders there. And then not far behind, the rest of the pack, including a Byron athlete. In the field, Rockford Jefferson, Jaden Chase, Dominic Erickson, Sammy Neubauer, and Aiden LeClaire. Byron, there's Michael, the Mayor Muzzarelli. Gavin Early will get the baton. Correction, they're going to run a little bit different order from the heat sheet. That's Micah Hilliker. But watch for Gavin Early and Joel Kirchner. ACC, that's Aurora Central Catholic. On paper, looks like the team to beat here, coming in with a overall time of 8 minutes and 26 seconds. AJ Viveros, John Reinbold, Cal Reinbold, and Brian Lopez. Rochelle features a team that includes Declan McGee, Elijah Mayen, Levi Waddle, and Pedro Rosales. Illinois Math and Science Academy is represented this afternoon. And their team here in this 4x800 meter run includes Brian Lamb, Kenneth Anderson, Joseph Hernandez, and Jack Lehman. There's our leader, ACC. Lots going on. So the girls, their meet began this morning. We brought you live coverage of that, culminating in a very exciting 4x400 meter relay for the girls. And then I took some time off. Actually, we all did, to transition to this boys' meet. No sponsors for our broadcast. Maybe someday we will, but I'm happy to tell you, I went down to Dos Amigos here at Byron for lunch. Had some sustenance, and here we go as we begin the afternoon session, the boys. It's a long day, a very exciting day, as Gavin Early is going to get the handoff from Hilliker. There he goes. Gavin, who likes to, along with several other members of this boys' team, like to wear that orange headband. There goes Gavin down that far stretch and into the curve. Try to update you on some of the girls' results. It was a good day for Byron, with many schools being represented. 14 schools, Poplar Grove North Boone in 14th, Aurora Christian in 13th, the Clippers from Amboy in 12th. Out of the NIC 10, Rockford Jefferson was here. They finished in 11th, and then Marengo. Illinois Math and Science Academy in 8th. In fact, they tied with Rochelle for 8th place. Stillman Valley in 7th. Belvedere North in 6th. Lena Winslow, Lee Wynn in 5th with 43 total points. Then Rockton Hananiga in 4th with 47. Byron finished in third in a very competitive field, total of 49 points. It was Aurora Central Catholic in second with 57, and Sycamore meet champions this morning with a total of 66 points, again in a field of 14 total teams. There's ACC in your picture with the lead. 5 teams getting the running events going here for the boys. Again, Jefferson out of Rockford. The host Tigers of Byron. The aforementioned leaders, Aurora Central Catholic, and then the hubs of Rochelle and Illinois Math and Science Academy. IMSA is out there as well. Gavin Early to Joel Kirchner. This is a grueling event, by the way. Earlier in the broadcast this morning with the girls, I was just mentioning that, at least with the sprint, you've got one speed. Run fast, right? 400 even, a little bit more nuance, a little bit more strategy comes into play. But I think of all the distances, of course, the bookend with the sprints, the mile and the 2 mile, this 800 is really challenging to try to get that sweet spot between pace and speed, right? A grueling way to start this afternoon's events. Rochelle, Rockford Jefferson into your picture. Here comes Joel Kirchner for the Tigers. Coach Mike McHale offering some support as ACC comes in, and they're done. Cream of the crop for this opening event, Aurora Central Catholic. There goes Joel, working hard. Here comes in Rochelle, by the way. And Rochelle in and done, second place. Here comes Kirchner. He's got to go around again. Pursued by Jefferson, and I believe finishing was an athlete from, I believe that was IMSA. You can smell the gun as our starter will fire a blank to start an event and a signal last lap. Here comes Joel. And now Rockford Jefferson, I think, with one more lap to go in this opening event of the boys' meet, at least as far as the running is concerned. Field events, we have high jump. We had high jump, I should say. We had triple jump. We had long jump. We had in the far south, you'll see it in a minute, the pit for pole vault down there. There it is. And we had shot as well. So lots going on and lots to update you on during this broadcast. All right, the 2 mile relay is in the books, which brings us to the 3,200 meter run featuring only 5 athletes. In no particular order, it's Tyler Johnson out of Rochelle. He's got the time to beat, at least on paper, listed in the heat sheet here, coming in with a 40. Nathan Burks from IMSA. River Wygant listed at 11 minutes and 40 seconds for the host Tigers of Byron. Again, River Wygant, you can see there at the middle of your screen. Gianni Verrucci out of LaSalle, Peru, is there to, from our viewpoint, to River's right, technically his left, but kind of wearing that green and red. And then Rockford Jefferson's Sammy Neubauer out there as well. Might be waiting on one more competitor. Doesn't look like Neubauer is down here and ready to go. Here he comes. You'll see him at the top of your screen, sprinting. There he is. Okay, we got Johnson from Rochelle, Burks from IMSA, River Wygant, the Tiger in the field here, the sophomore, Gianni Verrucci from LaSalle, Peru, Sam Woodward, and Sammy Neubauer of Jefferson, with Woodward from Aurora Central Catholic. There they go. Wow, it's a very fast start. Listen, I mean, it's easy for me to, offer feedback from my viewpoint up here in the crow's nest, but I was going to recommend that the gentlemen take their time a little bit. Nobody asked me. Looks like a pretty quickly paced start to the 32 is what I'm trying to say. That's 16 laps. Now, during this segment, if we were broadcasting on ESPN or CBS, one of the legacy networks, right, we'd probably cut away to something else. Maybe one of the field events. I love watching the Olympics. I love watching the qualifying from Eugene, Oregon. And there's so much going on. You watch a little hammer throw, a little javelin. You know what I like? I like the steeplechase. You guys know what I'm talking about out there? There's only 7 people on our live stream, but there's people who watch this after the fact. I think we need to have a little steeplechase. At least outside, right? You got to jump over stuff and kind of get through some water. Anyway. I'm being told as of right now that girls 4x400 team second today set a mark that is good enough for second all time in Byron girls indoor history, a 4 minutes and 17 seconds. And just a little bit off the pace of a state qualifying time in Class 2A. It is what it is, by the way, Byron being Class 2A. One of the smallest schools, though, in contention for Class 2A. But it is what it is. And to qualify for state, something in the neighborhood of a 4:14. So we're just a few seconds off of that pace. But if we're able to make our way into the top 12 in the state, we can send that team down. And we won't know, of course, until a couple of weeks from now. I don't think there's anything on the books this week, at least not for track. But then believe it's Friday. So I suppose nothing, right out of the gate this next week. But on Friday of next week, the boys and the girls will go to a great meet up at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater and see if we can't qualify some events for state. Please let us know in the chat where you're listening from if you'd like to give a shout out to any athletes competing today. And from what I'm being told, most of those watching are enjoying our stream after the fact. Could be athletes that want to see how they did. They'll join us later on. Get a little feedback on your form. Watch yourself from a different viewpoint. A lot of grandmas and grandmas and grandpas have checked in this morning. Moms and dads, some working, some on trips. Hey, there's Jimmy Kahn again. His good-looking freshman son is doing a great job in the shot. Brady Kahn, for a freshman, is doing an outstanding job. Medalist last Tuesday here in Byron, taking on a field of much bigger schools and much older gentlemen, including the guy to beat, his teammate, a senior, Sam Gentz, the big fella. Speaking of big fella, we'll watch today for Big Jack Potter. Talk to his parents beforehand. Of course, his sister, Ashley, is on that 4x400 team with my daughter, Mason. And they kind of watched, again, after the fact last week. We're here in person, but heard me talking about Jack, and I had him at 6'7". Of course, his mom good-naturedly corrected me and said, no, 6'8". No, that's not true. It wasn't 6'8" and a half. So watch for Big Jack Potter, a high jumper for the Tigers and occasional sprinter as well. There goes the pack. Six gentlemen in the field here for this 3,200-meter run. It's 2 miles. After this 2-mile run, we've got the 55-meter hurdles, followed by the 55-meter dash. And then the 800 relay. Again, all competitors running a single lap indoors. That's the 4x2. The 400-meter dash, the mile run, and we'll finish up with the 200 and the 4x400-meter relay. Looking through my heat sheet, seeing if Tim Starwald is going to run for us today. And he will run in the 1,600-meter run. He's our top miler, but He'll be joined by teammate Braden Dietrich. So we cannot live stream the musical that's going on tonight and tomorrow. A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. And I went opening night Thursday and thought it was a great show, and I encourage you to come out and watch. I believe tonight, so today is Saturday, March 15th. They'll have a show tonight at 7:30, and then a matinee on Sunday. The venue, the Byron Middle School Theater. Now it's a high school show, but our theater is at the middle school. Anyway, come out and watch. It was fantastic. And what got me thinking about it was that Tim Starwalt, our top miler, is also has top billing, if you will, in the musical. He plays, I think, 8 different parts and was one of the highlights of the show. So Tim Starwalt and the rest of the cast, Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, come out and watch. And we do want to make sure everybody understands that this platform, Byron Tigers Live, it was very important to us philosophically that as we kick this off, that the community knows this isn't just for sports. We want to support all of the activities, and that would include thespians, the drama, speech, maybe some dance. As the competitor from Rochelle comes in, we just don't have the license to live stream the show, sadly. And we did ask, but we're told that wouldn't be a good idea. Otherwise, that would be my pleasure to be there and live stream the musical. All right, LaSalle Peru comes in, finishing strong in third place there from IMSA. There's River Wygant, you can see there, upper left of your screen. Still got one more lap to go. There goes Riv. Rockford Jefferson's athlete on the other side of the track, coming down this stretch on this eastern side of the track. One more lap to go, I believe, for Aurora Central Catholic. So places 4, 5, and 6 on the track right now. This home stretch, if you will, of the 2 mile. Here comes Riv. Across the finish line goes River Wygant, 4th place. Rockford Jefferson coming in. One more lap to go for the young man from Jefferson. ACC across the finish line. Rockford Jefferson's going to have a pretty nice new outdoor facility. As I was there a couple times during the swim and dive season and can see that they're really going to have a pretty nice facility out there for football and track that they have been working on throughout the fall and winter. Truth be told, not sure how much they got done during the winter, but you get the idea. It'll be done soon and should be a really nice facility. All right, that should be the conclusion of that 3,200 meter run, which brings us to the 55 meter hurdles. There'll be a couple of Byron athletes in the field, but not in this first heat. As they stage the hurdles, and you can see top of the screen, a couple of guys getting loose, sizing up the hurdles. This opening heat will feature Caden Hermeyer out of Amboy in lane 1. Chris Ginocchio out of ACC in lane 2. Aiden Singleton of IMSA in lane 3. Antoine Haley out of Rockford Jefferson in lane 4. And then CJ Phillips, Aurora Christian in lane 5. We talked about this morning. Nothing we can do about the baseball batting cage there. You can see as we pan. And it does make tracking lanes 4 and 5 a little bit of a struggle, at least at the onset. But we do what we can, right? There they go. A couple of Byron athletes in the second heat. Meanwhile, heat number 1. Lane 3 in the lead and taking the victory, Aiden Singleton, again of IMSA. Heat number 2 will feature 2 Tiger athletes. Let's meet the competitors from right to left. In lane 1, Wyatt Worthington of Rochelle. Should see him there in your picture. Hunter Bivens, also a Rochelle hub. There he is. Gennardi Turner out of Jefferson will be in lane 3. In fact, on paper, Turner is the man to beat, coming in with a time of 8.5. But 7/100ths of a second behind is Byron Sr. in lane 4, Liam Connell. Watch for him. It should be a good race. Laksh Patel out of IMSA in lane 5. You can see him there just to the left of your screen, warming up. And then Hunter Haas, coming off a productive basketball season, down there in lane number 6. Liam Connell's sister is here today, Abby, a great track athlete in her own right. A college freshman came out today to watch her younger brother Liam compete. Always a big fan of Max Connell, too. Max, I don't know if you will be watching this sometime down the road, but you are missed around here as well. I believe a Purdue Boilermaker, Max, if I remember correctly, a couple of years out now. Strong athlete in numerous sports as well. So all the Connells, Max and Abby, and now younger brother Liam, the senior, competing in this second heat. We'll let the starter do the honors. This will be heat 2 of 2. Connell, lane 4. Haas, lane 6 for Byron. Contacted a hurdle, but going to take second, Will Connell. Very unforgiving, the hurdles, right? Hey, there's Max. Max is here. He might stumble into view here in a moment. There he is. Big Max Connell, older brother of Liam. Yeah, very unforgiving, the hurdles, right? I mean, not only do you have to leap over the hurdle, but you have to do so in very tight quarters. And, real estate is at a premium, as they say, with the hurdle. So well done there. Liam Connell will take second for Byron. This will bring us to the 55-meter dash. Should be 3 heats. And from my viewpoint here in the Crow's Nest, these guys are going to need all the room available here once they cross the finish line. Again, indoor track, real estate is at a premium. All right, boys 55-meter dash, heat 1 of 3. Athletes competing in lanes 2, 3, and 4. Lane 2 down there, you can see him getting ready to go. In the green is Noah Zebron, LaSalle, Peru. I don't have, little fella just ran across the track. I hope he's paying attention. His mom probably said, "Go now." He had to throw something away. Woo, you don't want to see some little fella stumble out onto the track once this 55 meters gets cranked up. Anyway, to the right, in green, LaSalle, Peru. I believe they're the Cavaliers. Don't quote me on that. But this will be Noah Zebron, Nathan Rosas out of Rochelle. Rochelle, a couple of different jerseys today. Some of them are purple. Some of them are white, as you see there with the purple R and the chevron, if you will, kind of across from upper left to right. And then Kenny Tran out of LaSalle, Peru is down there as well. At least so says my heat sheet. Yeah, nice to see the Connells. Max and I got each other's attention there as we were getting ready for this 55. Had a chance to go see his younger brother. I tell you, that's what it's all about. And that's why we're doing this live stream, by the way, because if you got brothers and sisters in college, moms and dads on business, grandmas and grandpas out of state, I mean, the main characters are the student athletes. And we're glad that this platform that we're building is starting to grow, and we're very glad to have you along. Hey, spread the word. All right, 55-meter dash, heat number 1. LaSalle, Peru in lanes 2 and 4. Rochelle in the middle. Wow. I mean, it's going to be a photo finish. There's our camera operator doing a good job of showing you these guys are going to use every little bit of the real estate available after crossing the finish line. Got a nice crew of people down there at the scorer's table. You can see them to the left of your screen. Takes a lot of people to run a track meet. In fact, to be honest with you, it makes you wonder how they pulled this off in earlier generations. Look at our crew on the laptops, data entry. Sometimes having to go back on camera, especially in these sprints, checking the computer very carefully to see when people cross the finish line. All right, Dylan Dock in lane 1. We're talking about this legacy generational name of Doc. And just this morning, I was passing through the wrestling room and I saw an old sign. Adam, I'm not calling you old, but I saw an old sign that said Adam Doc, and I believe the year was 1986. That's Dylan's grandpa, mom Amber, and now grandson Dylan, a freshman, will be out there for the Byron boys in lane 1. The fleet-footed Dylan Doc comes in with a time of 7.67. Matthew Gaylor, the senior for Aurora Central Catholic, to his right, left from your viewpoint watching. Amboys, Josh McKendry is in lane 3. Antonio Alexander out of Jefferson is in lane 4. And AC Catholic Kyle Stanislow will be in lane 5. All yours, Mr. Starter. Heat 2 of 3. Doc in lane 1. Watch for the Tiger. Lane 4 pacing the field. Doc coming on. McKendry of Amboy was in the mix there. Strong run by Dylan Doc, the freshman. Coach McHale comes over, offers some congratulations. Boy, these 55s are over in the blink of an eye, aren't they? Just a little bit over 7 seconds. And on to Heat 3, where a couple of athletes have the opportunity to run a time in the 6s. Drake Namist is there in lane 1. You can see him in red. Just for clarification, we've got Aurora Christian today in red, and we've got Aurora Central Catholic in blue. Parker Stam, the sophomore, you can see him there getting his starting blocks ready to go. I think that's Liam down there, going to help him out a little bit. Going to anchor the block. No, that's Keegan Mitchell, excuse me, down there. Another sophomore. So 2 sophomores. Keegan will hold the block for Parker. IMSA, Jaden Blankenship, and Xavier Brown in lanes 3 and 4, respectively. Jefferson's Innocent Mayro in lane 5. And Virgil Odell behind the screen. You can kind of see him on the left side of your screen. Virgil Odell. Oh, boy. So I see the starter on the right there with the orange hat, the khakis and the white polo. You get the idea, holding the starter's pistol. And that's Jeff Milburn, our outstanding activities director. But I think we've had a little bit of a technical difficulty at times. Oh, by the way, there's Amber. See Amber Doc down there, Dylan's mom. She's chatting with Steve Walters down there. I love these meets. You look around, you see, I'm not calling them old. Amber, I'm not calling you old. I was going to say old friends, though. Old friends and faces. All right, Heat 2. Parker in lane 2. 3, 4, and 5 even pacing the field. It's kind of like a drag strip, right? You just like deploy parachutes. So it takes the young men a little bit of time to slow down. All right, there's Parker the bespectacled one who just ran a strong heat, the third and final heat for the Tigers. All right. So that's as fast as we'll go today, the 55-meter dash. And that's what you get indoors. And as the indoor season will be coming to a close here within a week or so, we'll get outside and it'll be quite a bit more. But indoors, it's a 55. All right, on to the 800-meter run. We'll have one Byron Tiger athlete in the field. That will be Noah Johnson. And kind of a meeting of the minds there at the scorer's table. So obviously in the 55-meter, I mean, we're talking hundredths of a second separating. In fact, some of the events were so close. I'm no mathematician, but I'm assuming you can go tenths and hundreds and then thousandths of a second, right? I mean, I suppose it's possible that it would go down to even closer, beyond what we with the naked eye can discern. And that's why we have the cameras. All right, boys 800. Yeah, so Noah Johnson, he's clocked a 2:45. Another bespectacled one down there. Now, I wore glasses, still do. Wear them at night, like to wear my contacts. I never liked wearing glasses to compete, whether it was baseball or, I mean, anything. I did nothing but break my glasses left and right growing up. But several of these Byron athletes like to wear their glasses to compete. Hey, our glasses in the 80s and 90s were not nearly as stylish, okay, as what these guys are wearing. But anyway, Noah, you can see him there, kind of near the middle of your picture with the glasses on. Watch and listen for Owen Fenska of ACC, Elijah Brock out of Rockford Jefferson. Fenska, by the way, okay, posing in lane 2, baby. Feeling it. All right. So somebody's going to have to rewind the tape if you're watching this later on, and not sure what that was. Hey, I'm not. We listen and don't judge, right? I'm not judging. I just the young man in lane 2 there was feeling it. Owen Fenska, the time to beat out of ACC at 2:33. Joseph Hernandez out of IMSA. Gianni Verrucci for LaSalle, Peru. Kevin Hong in no particular place, by the way, for this 800, but for IMSA, and then Jaden Chase for Rockford Jefferson. Seven gentlemen in the field. I like it for this boys' meet. We're actually playing some music. I don't know how well it's coming through the mix, but one of my favorite groups is the Killers, and that's what they're playing right now. I'm a fan of all genres and eras, by the way. So speaking of listen and don't judge, you can judge me, but I'm a big fan of the Killers. I mean, one of the great albums was Hot Fuss. And I don't even want to know how old that album is now. It seems like it came out yesterday. Got to Google that real quick. "20 years. Has it been 20 years? We got the album on CD, I want to say. Or maybe it was in that, don't tell anybody, but maybe it was in those years where nobody was really buying the physical media anymore. Maybe we were streaming it. Shh. No, but I eventually bought the album on vinyl. What a fantastic record that is. Anyway, there's Noah, the competitor from IMSA, is in. In fact, both IMSA competitors in. Aurora Christian. Here comes Noah across the finish line, followed by our athletes from, looks like, Rockford Jefferson, coming in 6th and 7th place. All right, we're actually going to run this in 2 heats. Now, an athlete was just down there yawning, okay? And I don't know if you caught this earlier, but I was, during the girls' meet, discussing how everybody brings a little bit of a different vibe to the starting line, right? Some people are wearing that poker face, just completely neutral. Some people look, very animated, very positive, almost joking around. And then some people look like they're about ready to go into war, and there's no right or wrong way. And then it's funny, during the Olympics, this got a little bit of traction among the discussion of the commentators, but you'll see a track and field athlete yawn, and people that aren't in the know might wonder, well, excuse me, are you bored? But really, it's a very natural response. If you think about the physiological purpose of a yawn, is Roush got a little bit shut out there at the start. Anyway, the purpose of a yawn, right? Get the oxygen going, and you'll see that with the athletes. So it's not socially stigmatized. I mean, it is what it is. Jack Switek out of ACC, along with Ben Bohr. Pedro Rosales out of Rochelle. You can see those 2 ACC athletes have found their way to the top of the pack here. Elijah Mayen, also out of Rochelle. Bryson Roush comes in with a time of 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Kind of got boxed out there at the start, but kind of picking some guys off as the race goes. ACC, Rochelle, there's a LaSalle Peru athlete, and there's Roush on the outside, passing a Rochelle hub. See if he can get himself established on the inside, and finally able to do so on that far stretch. Anthony Padilla out of LaSalle, Peru, Cabe Daniels out of Amboy, and Matthew Scuderi out of Aurora Christian. 2 athletes for ACC, Rochelle, LaSalle, and here comes Roush. Roush looking good. Got a nice steady gait. But the class of the field right now, ACC. Teammates Jack Switek and Ben Bohr are going to challenge for first place. Now that's interesting. ACC athlete, I'm not sure which is which, but kind of opened up a little bit of room on the inside as if to tell his teammate, hey, I'm going to make some room. Rochelle, LaSalle, here comes Roush. And the rest of the field, Amboy, Rochelle, and Aurora Christian in a very quick 800, the second heat of two. All right, this will be an 800 as Roush collects himself. Coach Mike McHale comes over, pats him on the back. There's our activities administrative assistant, Cindy Ellsbury, who does so much. Saw her in your screen there for a moment. Okay, this will be an 800 as well, albeit of a different sort, a 4 by 200. So this is the first heat of two for the 800-meter relay. Lane 2 will feature Aurora Christian. You can see them near the top of your screen. As the starter will check in, make sure everybody's here and ready to go. Aurora Christian with David Arguello, River Kovaric, CJ Phillips, and Drake Namist. You can see him there in your screen. All right, Illinois Math and Science Academy in lane 3, IMSA. It's Jaden Blankenship, Xavier Brown, Owen Larkin, and Matthew Park. Still waiting on a couple of their athletes. Here he comes into the screen from the bottom left. LaSalle Peru, Noah Zebran, Landon Zellers, Jack Carter, and Jason Curran. As now they'll make their way to their respective positions in lanes 2, 3, and 4. Not sure how well it's coming through our crowd mic, which again is just connected to our camera. As I'll pause here for the starter to get things going. Very eclectic mix of music is what I'm getting ready to talk about. All right, there's LaSalle Peru. Quickly, IMSA, and then Aurora Christian off and running in third place. So a very eclectic mix of music that they're playing here for the boys' meet. We had the Killers An album, Hot Fuss, 20 years old, but Ain't No Mountain High Enough from the 60s. I believe that was originally a Marvin Gaye number. I think maybe Diana Ross had released a version. I thought maybe the Temptations. I mean, I think they pretty much recorded almost everything. All right, awkward handoff there for IMSA. LaSalle Peru coming on strong. And again, we're not here to criticize anybody's form, only to observe that many of these athletes have very different techniques. And I did like the form there for LaSalle Peru. But it looks like IMSA is going to take this opening heat. And across the finish line goes IMSA. LaSalle Peru not far behind, and Aurora Christian in third. All right, I'm going to start my timer for the second heat, the faster of the two. Not by much, though. I mean, all 7 of these schools actually fairly close in times coming in. This will be heat 2 of 2. All right, lane 2, another jersey. This one a gray jersey for Rochelle. They got all sorts of jerseys today. A gray jersey with a purple R in front. Maybe it's the same jersey as we saw I think it's the same jersey as we saw another athlete wearing. I thought it was white, but it's a little bit more of a metallic silver color. You can judge for yourself there on your screen. Anyway, it's going to be Hunter Bivens, Nathan Rosas, Caden Redlarzik, and Mason Bolthouse. Byron has a team. In fact, comes in on paper as the team to beat with a time of 1 minute and 38 seconds. Liam Connell, Brock Wagner, Lincoln Smith, and Parker Stam. Thinking back to Tuesday, some guys without any malicious intent, mind you, but some guys from Byron and Winnebago, I think it was, got a little bit tied up and hit the deck. Again, that's part of the strategy, right? Part of the nuance of track, especially in indoor where these curves come into play quite a bit more than outside. There's Liam Connell, by the way. He'll get us started. Brock Wagner and then Lincoln Smith. And then Parker Stam, an up-and-coming sophomore, will anchor this 4x2 team. Jefferson, though, will compete in lane 4. Innocent Mero, Antonio Alexander, Mecky Calloway, and Darion Dickens. Left of your screen, Liam Connell. And then to the right, Rockford Jefferson. There they go. ACC in lane 5. Abram Hassler, Chris Ginocchio, Ian Piceno, and Joey Arch. All right, Liam in second by a fraction of a second. Good handoff to Brock Wagner. There he goes. As the athletes cut in, Wagner in second, pursued, though, by Rochelle. Wagner's got to work. He'll be passed in the far turn. Tigers now in third. Jefferson, Rochelle, and Wagner to Smith, and there goes ACC. Somebody on the track there interfered with Byron. I don't know if we got it on tape, but a Rochelle runner trying to cross the track and impeded Lincoln Smith. We'll find out if there's some kind of a disqualification, but meanwhile, Rochelle does have the lead. And see, real estate as Rochelle once again impedes the progress, this time of Jefferson. There goes Parker Stam. ACC in fourth. It's going to be close. Jefferson coming across in first. Rochelle, Stam for Byron, and then ACC. And there will be a meeting of the minds at the scorer's table to see if there'll be any disqualifications there for impeding progress on the track. Brock Wagner, bottom of your picture. Left side, it's Parker Stam. And then to the upper right, it's Liam Connell. They may just chalk that up to, I guess what we would call incidental contact, but it certainly impeded the progress of a couple of runners. Doesn't help us much to say on the live stream, but perhaps anybody watching after the fact, it's worth mentioning, watch the track, right? Especially in that 4x200 meter run. All right, 400 meter dash now. A couple of Byron athletes and some that will be joining the 400 meter runners as the season progresses. We talked about this earlier with the girls, right? That on any given day, somebody might be held out. Maybe a little bit of an injury, an illness, but also strategically thinking about, the future, trying to qualify for state. But for today, looks like 3 heats of this 400 meter run. That's a quarter of a mile. It's outside. It's once around the track. Indoors here, it'll be 2. Left of your screen, you'll see a Rockford Jefferson athlete in red and yellow. That's Zaire McNeely. Interesting. This second athlete is Nahom Zaire. Unless the first athlete's name is Zaire, but anyway, 2 names with the letter Z, and actually one of them's a scratch anyway. It's Chris Hickey for Rochelle. And I believe it's Zaire and Hickey twice around. Oh, boy. They can cut in. I don't think they realize it because there's nothing down on the track. And I do agree. I do understand the young men there. You don't want to get DQ'd, but there should be some kind of a visual out there to indicate when indeed they can cut in. The athlete from Jefferson looks to be in some pain and just holds on to win that opening heat. Jefferson takes the opening heat there. Now, coaches, if we're watching after the fact, I mean no criticism, but I just offering that a guy waving his arms from the sidelines may not be enough to inform. There's Steve Walters trying to point out when you can cut in. There we go. I think Jeff Milburn is going to, there he is, down to the south of the PE Center. He's going to start putting some cones down. It gives the athletes a little bit of an indication of when they can cut in. All right, this will be Brian Lopez in lane 2. Up-and-coming freshman, of which there are several, both for the boys and the girls. Wyatt King. There's Evan Northrup, by the way. He's going to hold the starting block. I'm going to open up my app here in a minute and see if I can't figure out how Ev did in the high jump as he took the meet championship the other day. IMSA in lane 4, Andrew Nelson, and then Daniel Gutierrez, also out of LaSalle, Peru. There you see him in your screen, lane 5. Yeah, during the miles when we'll have a chance to maybe go through some of the other events. Not seeing anything yet for the boys. Let me see if I can restart my app. That would be athletic.net, by the way. Oop. IMSA athlete was chomping at the bit there. On your marks. And he wants to stand him up. The starter has had some problems with the starting gun. All right. Heat 2 of 3. Correction. Oh gosh, I got lulled to sleep there. Yes, it is heat 2 of 3. The Tigers have a man in the race. It's the freshman Wyatt King. Came in with a time of 58.86. And see, now we've got a visual where they can cut in. That made a world of difference. Tremendous advantage over that opening heat. King boxed out a little bit in lane 1. He's going to try to make a play on the outside. He's got his man, and he might even be able to catch second place and more. Now established himself inside. Ran out of a little bit of steam, though, having made his way into third. Let's see what he's got left in the tank. Here comes King. King into second. Will it be enough? Not for first place, but King firmly in second. A nice run there after having to work out a real estate transaction there to get himself back into the race. All right, I'm going to check the shot. Actually, no, I'm going to check the high jump first. I was just talking about Evan Northrup, the freshman and younger brother of Gabby, a junior for the girls. All right, number of scratches here. There were going to be 13 in the field, only 9 competed. All right, 9th place, Stewart out of IMSA. Pequeño, perhaps Pacino out of Aurora Central Catholic in 8th. Peter Gaylor, also of ACC, in 7th. Darion Dickens from Jefferson in 6th. Jack Potter in fourth, tied actually with Jonathan Barrows of Rochelle, but Potter will take fourth, also with a jump of 5.8. Gennardi Turner in third with a jump of 5.8. And Evan Northrup, 5.10, the freshman, and edged out by 4 inches by Jack Tilton out of Rochelle, a jump of 1.88 meters or 6'2". All right, this is the third heat. And a few technical difficulties on and off throughout the meet with this starting mechanism. Let's see if this gives me a chance to see how we did in the shot. See if another freshman, Brady Kahn, held his own against this field. All right, heat 3. Lane 1 is Gaylor of ACC. Justin DeClerc in lane 2 from Rochelle. Joel Billhorn in lane 3 for Amboy. There you can see Dylan Springer, the senior for the Tigers, bottom of your screen, or I should say kind of middle left of your screen, the bottom competitor. Evan Kempf from Illinois Math and Science Academy and LaSalle Peru's Pachavasic. All right. Springer is going to work that turn. Springer on the outside. They can cut in. Not cutting in yet. Drafting on Amboy is Springer. Springer is not wanting to let him go. Amboy's athlete came in with a 52.7. Springer had to run a 54. But Springer right there not letting him get loose. He's going to take the inside position. Springer is going to finish in second as the Clipper from Amboy held him off in a very quick second heat. I didn't get the time, but we'll check athletic.net, and I'm sure it was a quick race as Dylan Springer makes the rounds, congratulates some of the other competitors. And they're the numbers 1 and 2, respectively. Springer from Byron and Billhorn from Amboy. All right. Field of 15 for the shot. Top 8, Medina from LaSalle, Peru. Cheladin from Aurora Christian. Santiago from LaSalle, Peru. All right, here's our freshman phenom in the shot. And of course, that's a big deal because it's such a strength-based event, right, to throw the shot. I mean, our head coach is a physics teacher, Mike McHale, and I'm sure he'd have us know that there's a lot of technique and physics involved as well. Anyway, Brady Kahn is on his way to mastering the art of the shot, and he is in 5th place today, a throw of 42 feet and 2.25 inches. Joseph Brown out of ACC in 4th. Ashton Meadows out of Aurora Christian in 3rd. IMSA's Abu Yusuf was in 2nd with a throw of 13.96. And Big Sam Gentz, once again, meet champion. And if he hasn't qualified for state, I mean, he's got to be there. But today he threw, not a personal record, by the way, on the season, but he threw a 14.85, almost a full meter over the 2nd place finisher. Again, if metrics aren't your thing, that's 48 feet, 8.75 inches. So I believe we're on now to the Foo Fighters. the music playing here in the PE Center. All right, this is the mile. Starter didn't like something. Saying they're bumping into each other a little bit at the start. Might see a little bit of that as the meet progresses. Now, look on the far left. It's Tim Starwalt. He's on the far outside. He's going to have to work his way into position in this turn, and he does. Undoubtedly where he wanted to be. Little strategery worked out between Tim Starwalt, our junior, and his coaching staff. Take a good angle to get yourself situated, and there he is near the front of the pack. Speaking of physics, Coach McHale, if you're watching this later, angles and vectors. Great teacher by the name of Bruce Kaiser taught us about vectors. And a great actor asked us, "What's your vector, Victor?" All right, there's Tim. He's in the lead. Good little pack there at the front. Starwalt, on paper, the man to beat, runs a 4:35. And we'll see him on stage tonight at Byron Middle School in Byron High School's production of A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, where he plays 8 different characters. Not all at the same time, mind you, but throughout the show, Tim Starwalt, I tell you, man, he's great to watch, and obviously one of the great milers around as well. All right, Starwalt's in the lead. In hot pursuit, though, ACC's John Reinbold. AJ Viveros is out there as well. Braden Dietrich, a strong miler, a sophomore, is out there for the Tigers as well. IMSA's Kenneth Anderson, a couple of Rochelle Hubs, and Tyler Johnson and Declan McGee. Brian Lamb for IMSA. Aurora Christian sophomore is Matthew Scuderi and Owen Fenska. Jefferson has Aiden LeClaire. A couple of LaSalle Peru athletes in Griffin Hammers and Anthony Padilla. And Dominic Erickson, also from Rockford Jefferson. Lots of people coming in and out of the stream. If you're with us live, we'd love to hear from you in the chat. Gives us a sense of who's listening and from where, and can interact with you a little bit. Is Mike McHale calling out some encouragement to his miler, Tim Starwalt. Into your picture soon will be Braden Dietrich, a sophomore. In that far curve go our leaders. Tim Starwalt pacing the field. 2 more laps, they say. There goes Tim. Dylan Springer helping out the cause. Really, Byron athletes all over the place. Micah Hilliker down there, River Wygant, well positioned to encourage Tim Starwalt as the Aurora Christian athlete will take himself out of the mix near the finish line. 1 more lap to go for Starwalt. Usually a bell, but today the starter is firing his gun to indicate last lap. All right, there goes Tim. Into the far curve. Opens up his stride a little bit. Down this final stretch to pace the field. Starwald across. Seconds behind ACC. ACC takes second and third. LaSalle Peru in fourth. IMSA. Rochelle, there's Dietrich. And a couple of guys need to finish up. So very quick race here as our finishers will make their way through that final turn. LaSalle Peru and a couple of athletes, Rockford Jefferson and Aurora Christian. Now, when you go up against Tim Starwald, and he's listed at 4 minutes and 35 seconds, some of these other guys look slow in contrast. But anyone that ran and finished the mile here in Byron today, I think did better than you or I could have done, right? Unless you're Tim Starwalt watching this after the fact. There he is. Tim Starwalt took the championship today in Byron. Plus, in a field of about 15 athletes, even though it is a mile, you still have to do your best to try to make some sense of the order in which they came in. And attending to an athlete who went down and scratched out of the race can kind of see in the picture there near the top of the screen. All right, so that was the mile, which means that we are on to the 200-meter dash, and then the 4x400, always my favorite event. Just love these relays, love the 4x4. As our athletes will get staged here in this first heat of 3. Three athletes in the opening heat. In lane 2, you can see their coach holding the starting block and the athlete making his way into our picture. That's Landon Zellers. Zellers does not have a time listed. Now, looks can be deceiving, but if his physique is any indication, he might be able to cook. That's Kenny Tran of LaSalle. Abram Hassler will be in lane 3. Landon Zellers does not have a time. He's out of your picture to the left in lane 2. Zellers from LaSalle Peru, Hassler from ACC, and Tran from LaSalle Peru. All right, there goes Zellers. He's working on second place. His teammate Tran in lane 4. Zellers on the inside, battling. And he's going to take the heat. Does Landon Zellers. All right. Heat number 2 will feature a Byron Tiger athlete. It's big Hunter Haas. He'll be in lane 2. You can see him there getting situated. Setting the blocks. Coach McHale coming over to offer some final words of encouragement and help him anchor the blocks for the start. Lane 1 to his left is IMSA's Owen Larkin. Hunter Haas in lane 2. Jack Tilton in lane 3. There he is. Tilton of the pink spikes. This track will be torn up in the near future, by the way, so they're letting them wear spikes. Sometimes they don't indoors. But, I mean, we're kind of past that at this point. The track will be ripped up. And you know what I'm really looking forward to is a brand new outdoor track. Is, with all due respect, our facilities here in Byron are ready for an upgrade, and we're getting one. The entire football area, among other places, mind you, but football field, stadium, seating, press box, and track set for an upgrade. All right, Tilton of the pink shoes. To his right in lane 4, Josh McKendry. You can see him there from Amboy. And Joey Arch out of ACC to our right in lane 5. Mr. Starter. There they go. There's Hunter Haas into your screen in lane 2. Very fast field for the second of 3. Hunter came in with a time of 26 seconds. Looks like Tilton, the pink-shoed Tilton, will take the heat. But Haas, just off his left shoulder there, I believe, took second in a fast heat number 2. All right, everybody in the 24-second range in this third and final heat. And there's our competitor for Byron, just to the right, and we'll meet the competitors from left to right, I guess. Lane 1, it's Innocent Marrow, Rockford Jefferson, the Jayhawks. His coach reminding us of their mascot. I do know a little bit of the history behind some of the Rockford area mascots. I'm assuming, though, when they built Jefferson in the 70s, I think it was, they decided on Jefferson, you know, Thomas Jefferson, a president and one of the early framers, Declaration of Independence and all that. But a Jayhawk, I'm assuming, is not an actual bird, is it? But a Jayhawk, a Jefferson hawk, right? Jaden Blankenship in lane 2 out of IMSA. Amboy's Joel Billhorn in lane 3, and watch for Wyatt Ebens for Byron in lane 4. There's another Jayhawk in lane 5. It's Gennardi Turner, and then Rochelle's Virgil Odell in the far lane 6. In the hands now of the starter, the third and final heat of this 200-meter run. There goes Ebens out of the block. Jefferson, Rochelle, and Ebens on the inside making a case. Ebens right on the shoulder of Jefferson's athlete in lane 5. Ebens goes second, and a good race for the Tiger Jr. And that concludes the 200-meter dashes this afternoon, which brings us to our final event. That a baby Wyatt, says Coach McHale. All right, I think there's going to be just one heat for this final event, the mile relay, 4 by 400 meter run. Rockford Jefferson in lane 1, coming in with a time of 4:35. Mecky Calloway, Nahom Zaire, Antoine Haley, and Antonio Alexander representing Rockford Jefferson. Lane 2, Illinois Math and Science Academy. It's Laksh Patel, Aiden Singleton, Xavier Brown, and Andrew Nelson. ACC, Ben Bohr, Chris Ginocchio, John Reinbold, and Jack Switek. Lane 4 is going to be Byron's Liam Connell. There we go. We're going to set the starting blocks. There we go. Liam Connell, the senior. Bryson Roush, a junior. Dylan Springer, a senior. And Tim Starwalt. ACC comes in, by the way, with a time of 3:39. Byron in the heat sheet here listed in second at 3:45. Lanes 3 and 4 respectively, right? ACC in 3, Byron in 4. Rochelle, Pedro Rosales, Jackson Smith, Aaron DeClerc, and Justin DeClerc. Lane 5. And then LaSalle Peru's team in lane 6, consisting of Jason Curran, Daniel Gutierrez, Griffin Hammers, in Zachary Posavasic. Yeah, there's Brooks Ocker, an up-and-coming athlete. There's my buddy, Mr. Springer, the bottom of your screen. He'll be out there to root on his son Dylan in this 4x400. Liam Connell, however, getting things started for the Tigers. In the hands of the starter, our final event of the day here from Byron. There they go. The first leg. Each athlete running 2 laps. And it does look to be Liam Connell in the lead as they cut in. Not by much, but Connell with ACC less than a second behind, and then the rest of the field into this near turn. Connell in that far curve for the time being, taken over by ACC. And they'll hand it off. There goes Roush. Connell, I mean, he did his job. This ACC team is listed as 6 seconds ahead of Byron, but Roush is just going to try to do his best to keep it close. Anything can happen, of course, right? But Roush, less than a second behind now, the leaders from ACC. Roush is making a move. Here goes Roush. The Tigers on the outside. So ACC has the positioning, and Roush making them work. ACC with that inside position, and Roush did his best, but in the end, ACC had established the inside position, and Roush now is going to hand it off to Springer, and let's see what he can do. The other day, Springer's people were listening down in Texas. Is ACC now going to open up the lead? Springer just kind of holding his position for now. Let's see if he wants to make a move. Springer in second. Rochelle, however, challenging. A couple of seconds behind, as you can see in your picture in this near curve. ACC opening up the lead several seconds now over the Tigers. You can see Dylan Springer working on that far curve, though. Springer handing it off to Tim Starwalt. Tim, has already run a mile. And he's going to do his best to hold on to second place. The Rochelle Hub athlete, though, not far behind with the fresh legs. Again, Starwalt having already ran a mile. And the final handoff for Jefferson there is Starwalt will have the Jefferson athletes just in front. Starwalt holding on. Rochelle making a bid, but a couple of seconds behind, and now Starwalt opening up the lead in that far turn. Here comes ACC. They're going to take the 4x4. Starwalt, though, going for time, and he's in, and then the Rochelle Hubs. ACC, Byron, and Rochelle. There's LaSalle Peru and IMSA, and then Rockford Jefferson will finish up the meet. So you never know, right? I mean, there's no asterisks on a young man's jersey that says, hey, I'm not at my best today, or what their strategy is, if they're going for a PR or just trying to work on some things. So you never know. And that's one of the great things about track. Every meet is a new day. But this time, it was indeed Aurora Central Catholic. Came in 6 seconds better than Byron and finished in the order projected in our heat sheet. Folks, it's been a long day, a very enjoyable day. But now, having done the girls' meet this morning and now the boys, I can say that I'm getting ready to call it a day. And I'm glad that you were along. We had lots of people listening in live, watching live. And then naturally, we'll have many of you wanting to rewatch the meet. Many athletes, coaches will want to watch the meet later. And we're glad that you guys have joined us. Hey, congratulations to all of our athletes competing today, this morning, starting out at 8:30 with the girls' field events. The girls' running events at around 9. Took a little bit of a break for lunch and then got things going in this afternoon session with the boys' field events, and then finishing up now the running events for this Byron indoor meet. Don't forget to check athletic.net for results. I'd like to thank my camera operator, who we'll look forward to seeing out on the track when he is ready to go. My son, Easton Burris, a freshman. And thanks to all of you who joined us. We'll continue to grow this platform. We have a budget of $0 for the time being, but we will bring you live coverage of other Byron sporting events and activities in the near future. I believe we'll have soccer next week. We're trying to work out the schedule. I know baseball and softball will be getting things going next week as well. The sky is the limit for this platform, and we'll look forward to joining you in the near future for more live coverage of these Byron Tigers and others. For the time being, we're glad that you had us on your screen here on YouTube's Byron Tigers Live. Remember to check the results on athletic.net, and we'll see you next time on YouTube at Byron Tigers Live. Have a great day, everybody.